Today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite lessons, one of the most important lessons that I ever learned in my martial arts journey. Maybe. Hey, what's up? I'm Ken. This is kenfuTV, and each week I release videos in the martial arts, philosophy, technique, training, that sort of thing. So if that's the kind of thing you're into, I hope you stick around, hope you subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want to know when new videos come out. Every Monday, these ones come out, but other ones come out sporadically. Over the years, this show has grown, and now it has multiple segments. Whenever possible, these videos break into 3 sections. A section for shirts and patches where I feature something of you, things that you've sent in, stuff like that. Then a section for the meat of what I'm talking about today. And then lastly, comments from last week's video. So be sure to check the video description in the comments down below for chapter markers to be able to jump to exactly the part of the video that you're interested in. Today we're talking a lesson that I received from my Aikido instructor. Something that he did all the time. He passed it to me, maybe not even realizing that he passed it to me. It continues on for me in my training, but it was just a thing that he did. But before we start that, whenever possible, I like to feature you. Yeah, you. I started a while ago this shirts and patches segment where I either wear a shirt that represents your school or something about you, or back here on the wall, I've got patches from different schools all over the world, and each time one comes in, I request that you send a story, and we talk a little bit about who you are, maybe what this patch represents, and that kind of thing. So today, I'm really excited. I've got actually a set of patches from Gary Higgs, someone who's been following the channel for a while now and has been down in the comments having conversations and being part of this community. And I'm really excited today to share a little bit of a story and some patches of his with you. As always, whenever we can, I like to request that you leave a note, write something to give me some story about what all this is and what this means to you. So Gary says, "Dear Ken, thanks for your channel. I subscribed to your channel 3 months ago. I started karate in 2002. When I took my 5-year-old son at the time to American karate twice a week, I had just stopped smoking. So I thought I would sign up for the adult class twice a week as a white belt. By the time I earned my green belt, I was training 4 to 5 times a week. I broke my ankle as a blue belt and was off for 4.5 months, spent 2 years as a blue belt, 2.5 years as a brown belt, and earned my black belt in 2010. I earned that in the American Society of Karate with Mr. Bill Gray under the Superfoot system. Unfortunately, I had to move back to the UK from Houston, Texas. Where I live in the UK is a challenge to find something interesting like Kali and Karate. I've taken private lessons in Kali with Leo Gahe Jr. in Austin, Texas with Leslie Buck. If you could recommend a place through your resources, I enjoyed my martial arts journey. It was the best time of my life." We're going to pause there really quick. Before we go on, we were emailing back and forth, and he let me know what part of the UK he lives in, and I'm hoping that you can help me find him a place to train. It looks like he lives in Payton, Devon, England. Exeter is the capital of Devon, about 30 miles from where he's at. So if that's somewhere nearby, if you live nearby, train nearby, or just know of a school nearby, please drop it in the comments, tag Gary Higgs, and let's get him a place to train. The letter goes on to describe where the patches go on the gi in his system, and I want to share these with you. This is kind of really cool because I can tell that these were on his gi at some point. This was part of his training, and now I get to be part of the studio, something that I get to share with you, and I can't even describe what it feels like to be able to share a part of somebody else's training with other people. I didn't want this channel to just be about me. In fact, I never really wanted it to be about me. I wanted it to be something that I could put things out into the universe. Not me, but just thoughts and ideas and training and all of this stuff. And this gives me the ability to share these kind of things with you too. So the first patch was his American Society of Karate patch. This one, I love the idea of this. It's nice and simple, red, white, and blue, nice high kick, and obviously it just has this old school flavor to it that I just really, really like. To go with it, a little more elaborate, was the Eagles patch. The Eagles American Society of Karate, where Eagles dare. Love that. Just very, very cool. These two go together and represent that particular school, the American Society of Karate. Lastly, because it was a set of 3, is the Superfoot patch. It's kind of the parent patch, the patch Superfoot system. I mean, that's some old school stuff right there. Obviously, Superfoot Bill Wallace. Really, really incredible, really cool. These are going to go on the wall. They're going to live here in the studio and be part of every video going forward from here on out. I'm familiar a bit with Leo Gahe and the training that he does, and I think that's a really great opportunity that Gary had to train with him and Leslie Buck. I have not met, but have followed Leslie Buck's stuff on YouTube. I'll link it in the description for a long time now, and I really enjoy what he's doing and sharing in the Filipino martial arts community. So when it comes to karate, when it comes to eskrima, when it comes to things like that, if you've got a place, let's hit those comments and let's set Gary up with somewhere to train. What a cool thing. Obviously, those are up, posted on the wall now, and I literally have a part of somebody's training that I get to have be a part of every video going forward, and I just think that's incredible. So Gary, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're a part of this community. If you want to send in a shirt or a patch, or more importantly, your story for me to share on this channel, then please do so. You can hit me at shirtsandpatches@kenfuTV, and I'll get you a mailing address. We'll set something up, and hopefully we can start a conversation, get to know each other a little bit. Now let's jump into the meat of today's video. Today we're talking about maybe. Just the word, maybe. That was something that my Aikido instructor, his name is Gabe Phillips, amazing guy. His approach to Aikido was very practical and very functional, and I really enjoyed that. You can catch a video here of me talking about what I learned from Aikido from this man, but then today's video we'll talk a little bit more about something that I took away from him that's become part of who I am as an instructor. So when I would train with Gabe, we'd be on the mat, and he would be doing a demonstration and then discussing what was going to happen, how we were going to train, whatever we were going to work on that day. And then as we were training, there'd be times where he would pause you, he'd stop, and he'd give correction or advice or different things to go, hey, try to do it like this, or you need to move more like this, open your hips more, whatever, to generate more power, to move their body. And then he would say, maybe, big smile on his face. And that was his way of telling you that he was giving you what he knew, what he thought, what he felt. But maybe what he told you was true. Maybe what he told you was going to be accurate for you, but maybe it wasn't. We're learning together. We have all of this to figure out. We're training, we're spending time on the mat, we're working together, and we're each discovering different things about ourselves, different things about the training, different things about this slice of time even. How you feel right now about something might not be how you feel 6 months from now about something. So each time he said that, maybe, it was like saying, today I feel this way. It was like saying, find out for yourself. I'm telling you this, but find out for you. Prove me right, prove me wrong, but you got to do it by training. This feeling has continued to stick with me through all of my training, and I've mentioned already multiple times that I continue to do it, that when I give instruction, give corrections, give ideas, give advice, I tend to follow it with maybe, and a bit of a smile. Because you need to remember that should be fun. This is a relationship that should be a positive thing. And so, maybe. I don't have all the answers. In fact, very recently I've spent a lot of time thinking to myself about how it's my responsibility, or at least I choose for it to be my responsibility, to update people when I'm wrong. So if I've learned something new about a technique or about how to generate power in this particular thing or whatever it is, that I owe that to my students to pass that knowledge on, even if I've been teaching them for 3 years to do it one way and I found a better way. That they deserve that way. They deserve to know that way. Either they've got to go find that on their own, or I share it with them. My continued journey is so that I can continue to share what I have. That whole saying of, if I can see so far, it's only because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. I think it's so important. Such an important thing to recognize that we're where we are because of the knowledge that we are afforded by other people's effort. And that my role in all of this is just to share that little bit that I've done, to share what I know, what I've learned, so that the people after me can stand on my shoulders and the shoulders of the people before me and look out and look forward and continue to move the arts forward, to continue to progress our knowledge of violence, of body mechanics, of strength, of conditioning, of power generation, any number of things that we do when we train. That's a set of knowledge that we carry into the future long after we're gone. So it's okay to be wrong. Because at one point, we were right. To the best of our knowledge, we were correct. We knew this perfectly to be accurate. Then later we learn something new. We discover something else about it. And now that's the most accurate. That's the truth. And you know what? The other truth is the people that I train with, students, right? But peers in a lot of ways. They're going to come to learn things too, and I'm going to learn from them. So when I tell them, hey, this, maybe, because maybe they know something I don't know. Or maybe what I'm saying is just not true for them. Maybe for them something else is true. And that's something that they need to discover. So they need to try it. They need to explore it. They need to come to understand it so that knowledge can become something useful to them, something accurate to them. And mostly we just need to continue to remember that we don't know everything. We won't know everything. And every day we expand. We expand what we know. We continue to push ourselves forward. Hopefully we do. There are people out there. There are people who train. There are instructors and etc. that for them, the thought of admitting that they were incorrect, admitting that what they knew at that point in time was wrong, is a no-go. They're not going to do that because that challenges their authority in the position that they hold. And I really, really don't agree with that. I can't function that way. I can't work that way. Because to me, the fact that we allow ourselves to keep learning and not holding on to knowledge that's no longer accurate just so that we don't look bad, that ego, that pride, it gets in the way of progress. And instead, we just want to make sure that we stay on top, that the people stay under our thumb so that we can continue to be at the top, to be the resource, to be the master, the grandmaster, the whatever it is, so that we're not challenged. And I don't want that. If you train with me, if you want to train with me, if we spend time together, I want that to be because it's an honest relationship that we have, that I am committing myself to you, flaws and all, to accept you, flaws and all, for us to train and to make each other better. And as we experience that growth, as we come to understand things that are new, that are better, that are more accurate, that we share those with each other, that we admit our flaws, that we admit when something that used to be true is no longer true and we believe something else, that we share that with each other and we continue to grow and we continue to help each other grow by sharing knowledge. And you know what? Sometimes that knowledge that we share, that new thing that we learned, maybe it's inaccurate. Maybe it just seems really good. So maybe it's going to change again later. And as long as we continue to do that, as long as we continue to revisit the things that we learned, the things that we understand, the things we know, and continue to assess whether or not they're still accurate, whether we still believe them, whether they're still the best thing to teach people, to pass on to other people. As long as we continue to commit to that, the arts will live. The arts will grow. We will prosper. And we'll leave future generations in a better place. Gabe had another really great saying. He'd finish describing what we were about to do. And he'd say, I'm going to contradict myself here in a minute. And that was his way of saying, the thing that you're working on right now is what I need you to work on to develop this. And then once you've developed that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to contradict myself and we're going to do this. It's going to seem counterintuitive, but by starting here, I'm helping us get to here. So maybe, don't lock so hard on what I just told you to forget that the context might make it different 10 minutes from now. And that neither are incorrect, but the relationship with each other is part of the puzzle. These are all important components. And when we pass knowledge, we have to realize that knowledge is subjective. It applies to what it applies to. It doesn't apply to what it doesn't apply to. And it applies differently based on different types of context. So some things are always right, some things are sometimes right, and some things are never right. But they might also float in and out of those phases based on whatever it is that we're learning in the context in which we're doing it. So that's why the word maybe is such an important one for me. Now, real quick, we'll jump into comments from last week, and then we'll wrap things up. Welcome to comments from last week. honestly, this segment is changing. I have really enjoyed it, and as we get more comments, I have more things to say, and you guys have more things to say, and this is becoming a longer segment. So instead, what's going to happen is I'm going to read my favorite comment from last week, and then in a separate video, it'll be linked at the end of this video, will be the rest of the comments for you to check out separately. Of all the comments, the one that stood out with me the most, from the moment it was commented to now, and continued to stay in my head, and I really enjoyed it. It's this one from Meng Mike Team Tayaha. He says, I like how you're politely spoken and thoughtful. Your videos are pleasant to watch. Do I agree with what you say always? No, I don't. But it's your journey, not mine. Being open-minded and kind are very good things to have. I can see you have that. Pugai po. I really like this comment, not because it is complimentary to me. That's not it. It's this, do I agree with what you say always? No, I don't. But it's your journey, not mine. I think it's really important to me that we have that. We have that ability to have difference of opinion, different thoughts, different theories, different philosophies, but that in no way makes us not able to connect with one another. To you, Mike Salamat Po, I appreciate you leaving that comment. To be honest, that's a thing that you didn't even have to say, but you did say it, and it means a lot to me that you did, because it's kind of nice to hear that of all the people who've subscribed to this, that not everybody agrees with the things that I have to say. And that they get something out of it anyway, and that they enjoy it for what it is, and not just because we align. How did that saying go? If everyone's thinking the same thing, then someone's not thinking. It's so nice for me to know that you guys are thinking, that you have different feelings, and that I'm not always right, because I'm not always right. And I'm not always right compared to myself. Look at today's video, this idea that maybe today I feel this way, and maybe 6 months from now I feel differently. And you guys are helping me. When you comment and you say things, sometimes the things that you have to say help change my opinion for the better, help me understand things better. So I appreciate you. So this is kind of a weird one now because it's only just the one comment, so be sure to catch the other video with the rest of the comments. In the meantime, we'll jump back and close this video out. Okay, that's it this week. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that gave you something to think about. I think it's really important. I think it's something that really makes a big difference in the way that we train. Going forward, if you apply this theory, this mindset, that you will improve and you will do better and you will prosper for it. If you like these videos and you want to subscribe, you can do that right here. If you want to see a playlist of these videos, you can do that right here. Don't forget to catch the rest of the comments from this week right here, and another video you might like right here. I'm Ken, this is kenfuTV, and I'll catch you in the next one.